Guys, let's be clear about this. For 60 minutes, Japan looked as if they were about to pull off one of the greatest upsets in World Cup history. Everybody, as much as Japan was is a great team. Going into the match, I made a prediction video. I predicted Brazil would win 2-1. I did say that it would be a bit uncomfortable, but I did predict us to win. Very few predicted that Japan would beat Brazil. Brazil being a powerhouse. Maybe not the powerhouse that they were back in the day of Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká, Cafu and those guys, Roberto Carlos. But still a powerhouse in world football nevertheless. Nobody predicted Japan to, or most people didn't predict Japan to win this match. And for 60 minutes, Japan looked destined to pull off one of the greatest upsets. Brazil dropping out at the round of 32 that we've seen. That would have been one of the greatest upsets. Imagine at the first knockout stage, Brazil would be out. Guys, welcome back to JJ's Football Corner. As you can see, representing Brazil, Brazil is my team that I'm carrying for this World Cup. But as you can see from my face, I was genuinely concerned for the majority of that match. At no point in that match did I feel comfortable that Brazil would see it through. Japan, kudos to you. You're a resolute team. Absolutely resolute defensive masterclass of our team. You did not give Brazil a sniff. For 60 minutes, you guys did not give Brazil a sniff. He took the lead through Sano. Great goal. And I'm telling you, it was a tactical masterclass for Japan for about 60 to 65 minutes before Casemiro equalized. Or sorry, it was about the 56 minute actually that Casemiro equalized. And it came from a well-worked cross into the box from Gabriel Magalhaes, who, he's one of the free kick, not free kick, one of the set piece guys. Well, he's usually on the end of set pieces for Arsenal. But that's what it took. It took a well-worked cross into the box for Brazil to get even a sniff. Brilliant finish from Casemiro. But Brazil were not getting anything at all in that match. Vini nullified. Right? Everybody just nullified in that match. It was a masterclass in terms of tactical setup from Japan in how to nullify what most would perceive to be a superior opponent. But there is something to be said for Brazil finding a way to win when they did not play well. What do we always say? Champions win even when they don't play well. And that manifested today. Brazil were not at their best. In fact, the only game that I can honestly say Brazil have been at their best has been the Scotland match. They were scintillating in that Scotland match. Even yes, they won the Haiti match, but they weren't at their blazing best. I won't say that Brazil got lucky today. I will say that Brazil won through just sheer persistence, ability to bring on players who can effect change. Hendrick brought an energy. Martinelli adds another dimension. In fact, he got the winning goal at the end. Brilliant finish, brilliant pass from Bruno Guimaraes into him there in the 95th minute for him to slot in and finish. against Zion Suzuki, who has been excellent for Japan as a goalkeeper. I was worried. I was worried. I'm not gonna, look, I'm happy that we got through, but I was worried. I was, I was genuinely worried that we just weren't going to find a way to break down this team. But again, possible champions find a way to win. Now, I'm not gonna jump and say that Brazil are favorites to win this thing. Obviously it's still France. There's so much that Brazil has to work on. Right? There's a lot that Brazil has to work on. Especially attacking wise, man. I think sometimes I complained about this in the Morocco match, that Brazil sometimes look so blunt in attack. They look so blunt, they look so timid in attack. I've never been a fan of sideways passing. I like very kind of direct football. So I'm not always a fan of the tactical setup. But again, champions find a way. That's what they did. Brazil just found a way. They kept at it. And I think Japan may have, eased off a little bit in that second half. I think that, one thing that I say in football, if you have a team, right, and you have your foot on their jugular, continue pressing on the jugular. Try and get that second goal, right? At 2-0, I don't know if Brazil would have had enough to come back and make it 2-2, because football is one of those things where you can break a team if you get that second goal. Sometimes it goes the opposite way. But Brazil just kept at it. That was a tough match to watch. That was a tough match to watch as a Brazil fan. Not going to, wax lyrical about the performance. Maybe others have a different opinion on the match. I wasn't particularly thrilled with the performance, but a win is a win, and I take the win on to the round of 16. Right? Japan, I think you can be proud of your performance. I think your guys played well. I think your guys played, tactically astute until that goal. That goal just shifted everything, right? That goal just shifted everything for you guys, and it is what it is, man. And unfortunately for Japan, that's the end of the road for them at this World Cup. But kudos to them, man. They made a very good go of it. Brazil, you guys have a lot to work on if you want to win this World Cup. I am happy for the win, but you guys have a lot to work on, man. I'm not confident. I am not confident at all. But again, grateful for the win. Guys, thanks for tuning in. You can check out my prediction video. I'm 2 for 2 so far. I predicted that Canada would win. I think I predicted 2-1 for that, but that ended 1-0. Same 1-0 difference, right? And I predicted Brazil to win here. I believe I predicted Germany to beat Paraguay. Will that be an upset? I don't know. We just have to stay tuned to the next match and find out. Guys, peace. The peace that I did not get from watching Brazil just now. Have a good day.